Back in 2019, Dakota Johnson completely embarrassed Ellen on her own show. According to fresh allegations, Dakota allegedly rejected an invitation that would have put her on a plane to Epstein Island. And the date on that alleged invite, the same week she accidentally exposed Ellen's lies in front of millions. Yeah.
Well, who doesn't want to be invited?
That awkward moment wasn't just awkward, it was a message. And Ellen got it loud and clear.
I didn't even know you liked me.
Of course I like you. You knew I liked you.
November 2019, Thanksgiving Eve. Dakota Johnson walked onto the Ellen DeGeneres show to promote her movie with Shia LaBeouf, The Peanut Butter Falcon. Ellen wished her a belated 30th birthday and asked how Dakota's party was, claiming she wasn't invited. Now you would think this was just standard celebrity banter, right? Wrong. You see, Dakota didn't laugh. She didn't even play along. She just looked Ellen dead in the eye and said Ellen was lying, and she was, in fact, invited to the party.
No, last time I was on the show, last year, you gave me a bunch of shit about not inviting you, but I didn't even know you wanted to be invited.
Now, the audience laughed along, and so did Ellen. Kind of, but Dakota didn't. She doubled down and told Ellen to ask everybody.
But I did invite you and you didn't come, so.
This time you invited me?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
How do you know? I don't think so.
Ask everybody.
She even pointed to Ellen's producer. Ellen turned to him, and he confirmed it. She was invited. But here's the kicker. On realizing that she just got exposed, Ellen's face froze up, and she started claiming that she was out of town.
Oh yeah, I had that thing.
The crowd laughed again, but Dakota was not having any of that. Within seconds, Dakota had just exposed Ellen on her own show in front of millions. Ellen's Be Kind brand shattered in 90 seconds. But here's what nobody caught in real time. Dakota Johnson grew up inside this machine. Her mother is Melanie Griffith. Her father is Don Johnson. Her grandmother is Tippi Hedren. She knows how Hollywood works. She knows what an invitation actually means. And she knew that saying no on national television was the only way to stay safe. Now here is where this story gets even darker. According to sources, Ellen asking for an invite, it wasn't for a birthday party at all. It was for a trip to the Caribbean on a plane with a guest list that included names from Epstein's flight logs, and Dakota Johnson, the woman who just called out Ellen's lie on live TV, allegedly said no. Fast forward to 3 years, and Ellen's show ended after the toxic workplace allegations got exposed. But the question nobody asked, why did Dakota Johnson, one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, never come back? Not once. After that interview, Dakota and Ellen were never in the same room again. Coincidence or consequence? Dakota was not having Ellen's ish. She handled this with such class while still putting Ellen in her place. I love her. It's so subtle, but there is actual terror in Ellen's voice when this backfires. Pure terror. BSI like Dakota Johnson. She stands up for herself and won't take any. Just sitting there and smiling and not even looking pissed off was really mature for her, while Ellen was making a big deal out of not being invited. Dakota backed herself up and Ellen didn't like it. I like Dakota's laugh. It's a delight and charming.
Moment of tension. After that happened, the interview went viral on Facebook, getting viewed 35 million times, and all media was reporting it. Then after that interview went viral, 36 different employees came out against Ellen DeGeneres, saying she was toxic to work for. Some things being simpler, like some employees saying Ellen DeGeneres had a no eye contact rule where they weren't allowed to make eye contact with her walking in, and more serious things like Kevin Lehman, who was a producer for the show, and Ellen covered.
So this invitation that Dakota allegedly rejected was, according to sources close to the situation, a weekend trip on a private jet to the Caribbean, and a guest list that included names from Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs, names that have since appeared in court documents, names that have allegedly paid millions in settlements. And Dakota Johnson, the woman who just humiliated Ellen on her own stage, was supposedly on that list, but not as a guest, rather as a +1, Ellen's +1. So she said no on national television in the only way she could without disappearing. But Dakota wasn't the first, and if the pattern holds, she won't be the last. You see, there are reports of certain people over the years who allegedly said yes to the invitation. One such person was Virginia Giuffre. She was just 17 years old when she was recruited and flown out on Epstein's jet. She got trapped on his island. She later described the experience in graphic detail: the massage table where it all went down, the cameras, the powerful men who treated her like furniture. She reportedly fought for justice for 15 years. Then she suddenly passed away in 2025. She reportedly deleted herself under very mysterious circumstances.
Virginia Giuffre, the most prominent victim of the late convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, took her own life on Thursday. This is just weeks after she made headlines for saying that she had days to live after she claimed to have been hit by a bus. A statement given to NBC News was quoted as such from the 41-year-old's family. It says, "It's with utterly broken hearts that we announce that Virginia passed away last night at her farm in Western Australia."
In 2023, Virginia testified in court that Epstein and Maxwell recorded everything: blackmail tapes, compromising footage of the world's most powerful men. She said they used it like currency. And then she went silent, deleted her social media, stopped giving interviews. Her lawyer said she was focusing on healing. Her friends said she was terrified. Then there is Maria Farmer, the first victim to report Epstein to the FBI in 1996. But they did nothing. She spent decades being called a liar, a fantasist, a troublemaker. When Epstein was finally arrested in 2019, she thought the truth would come out, but it didn't. Now, Epstein passed away in his cell, also under mysterious circumstances. The cameras malfunctioned, the guards fell asleep, and the tapes from that night went missing. Maria still speaks out, but her voice is quieter now, careful, measured, like someone who knows the cost of saying too much. And then there's Ghislaine Maxwell, the key facilitator. She was convicted and sentenced to 20 years, and yet the names in her black book, the flight logs, the client list, still sealed, still protected, still hidden, because the people on that list aren't just powerful, they're untouchable. And Dakota Johnson knew it. Now take a pause and really think about this. Dakota Johnson was 29 years old. She had already starred in 50 Shades. She was about to headline the Peanut Butter Falcon. She was at the peak of her career, and she chose that moment on Ellen's own show, in front of Ellen's own audience, to call her out. Not about the invitation, not about Epstein, about a birthday party, a safe topic, a deflection, because saying the real reason would have made her the next name on a list nobody wants to be on. Instead, she made herself untouchable by making herself famous for saying no in public on camera, where millions could see it, where Ellen couldn't touch her without everyone knowing why. But here's where it gets darker. Ellen DeGeneres wasn't just a talk show host, she was a connector, a gatekeeper. The woman who introduced Oprah to Harvey Weinstein at her own birthday party. The woman whose show launched the careers of dozens of celebrities who later appeared in Epstein's orbit. The woman who, in 2014, posted a photo of herself on Jeffrey Epstein's private jet. A photo she later deleted. A photo the internet never forgot. And Dakota grew up watching this machine from the inside. Her grandmother, Tippi Hedren, was Hitchcock's muse. She knows what happens to actresses who say yes to the wrong invitation. She knows what happened to the ones who disappeared, the ones who stopped getting calls, the ones whose careers ended mysteriously after they rejected a powerful man's advance. So when Ellen asked about the birthday party, Dakota didn't just correct her, she performed a ritual, a public declaration of non-compliance. You were invited. Translation, I know what you offered. I know what it meant. And I said no. Ask everybody. Translation, I have witnesses. I have protection. I have the audience as my shield. The "I'm unsure if you like me" comment was a sign that she doesn't care, because the woman who likes me back is safer than the woman who doesn't. After that, Ellen's show ran for 3 more years. But something shifted after that interview. The ratings started dropping. The toxic workplace allegations surfaced, and former employees came forward. One producer said Ellen created a culture of fear. Another said she enjoyed watching people squirm. A third said she had a sensitivity list of topics she wouldn't discuss, including Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, including any guest who might ask uncomfortable questions. Since that infamous interview, Dakota Johnson never appeared on Ellen's show again. Not for 50 Shades Freed, not for The Lost Daughter, not for Cha-Cha Real Smooth, not once in 3 years. Despite being one of the most bankable stars in Hollywood, despite every other A-lister cycling through that couch for promo, Dakota was invited everywhere else. Met Gala, Cannes, Venice, Dennis, but never Ellen, because some bridges don't just burn, they get erased like they never existed. And Ellen, after her show ended in 2022, we were told that she wanted to move on. But the real story is that behind the scenes, sponsors pulled out, staff revolted, and after Dakota, the A-list guests stopped coming. And the woman who once gave away cars to screaming audiences, she quietly moved to England, bought a farmhouse, and disappeared right before the first batch of Epstein files was about to drop. Almost like someone who had something to hide or someone who was told to disappear. 11 years ago, people like Jim Carrey held up a sign on Jimmy Kimmel and called it a joke. Dakota Johnson held up a mirror on Ellen's stage and called it a birthday party. Both were warnings, both were ignored, and both speakers, one stopped sounding like himself, the other stopped showing up entirely. So was Dakota Johnson sending a message, or was she just calling out a lie? The difference is one gets you retweeted, the other gets you protected, and Dakota Johnson is still here, still working, still famous, still saying no, in a town where no is the most dangerous word you can say. So ask yourself, in Hollywood, who survives? The ones who play along, or the ones who make sure everyone sees them refuse?